God was working behind the scenes. Have you ever felt like God wasn't listening to your prayers? Have you ever cried at night, asking God for help, but heard nothing in return? If you have, then this story is for you. Because sometimes, when God seems silent, He is doing His greatest work behind the scenes. Emily was 28 years old and lived alone in a small apartment. She had dreams, big dreams. She wanted a successful career, a happy family, and a life filled with purpose. But reality looked very different. Bills were piling up. Stress was growing. And then one morning, the phone rang. Her manager delivered news she never expected. The company was downsizing. Her position had been eliminated. Just like that, she lost her job. Emily sat quietly on her couch staring at the wall. Her heart felt heavy. She didn't know what to do next. That night, she knelt beside her bed and prayed. God, I don't understand. I have always tried to do the right thing. Why is this happening to me? Please help me. But there was no answer. No sign. Only silence. The next morning, Emily started applying for jobs. She sent application after application. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into a month. Every morning she checked her email. Every day she hoped for good news. And every day she was disappointed. Soon her savings began to disappear. Fear slowly entered her heart. One evening she sat by the window watching the rain fall. Tears filled her eyes. God, where are you? She whispered. For the first time in her life, she felt completely alone. But even in her pain, Emily continued to pray. Not because she understood, but because she chose to trust. Then one cold morning, something unexpected happened. Emily was walking to another interview. She was nervous. She needed this opportunity badly. As she crossed the street, she noticed an elderly woman struggling with several heavy bags. People walked past without stopping. Everyone seemed too busy. Emily looked at the time. She was already running late. For a moment she hesitated. Then she remembered something her mother used to say. When you have the chance to be kind, choose kindness. Emily walked over. Can I help you? She asked. The woman's face lit up. Together they carried the bags to a nearby car. Before leaving, the elderly woman smiled warmly. Thank you, she said. God bless you. Emily smiled and continued toward her interview. She never expected to see that woman again. A few days later, Emily received a phone call. A large company wanted to interview her. She was surprised. She had never applied there. Still, she accepted the invitation. On the day of the interview, she entered the company's beautiful headquarters. Everything looked impressive. As she waited in the lobby, her eyes landed on a large portrait hanging on the wall. She froze. Her heart started racing. The woman in the portrait looked familiar. Very familiar. It was the same elderly woman she had helped on the street. Emily could hardly believe it. A few minutes later, the interview room door opened, and there she was. The elderly woman walked inside with a smile. I remember you, she said. Emily stood speechless. The woman sat down and began to explain. That day, I wasn't looking for someone to carry my bags. She paused. I was looking for someone with character. Tears filled Emily's eyes. The woman continued. Many people saw me struggling. Most kept walking. But you stopped. You chose kindness when it was inconvenient. Then she smiled. Skills can be taught. Experience can be gained. But a good heart is rare. A moment later she said words Emily would never forget. Welcome to the team. Emily got the job. Not only was it a better position, it came with a better salary, better opportunities, and a brighter future. Driving home that evening, tears rolled down her cheeks. But this time, they were tears of gratitude. She looked up at the sky and smiled. God, she whispered, now I understand. When I thought you were silent, you were working behind the scenes all along. That day, Emily learned something powerful. God doesn't always answer prayers immediately. Sometimes He is preparing something greater than we can imagine. Sometimes delays are not denials. Sometimes closed doors are protection. And sometimes the blessing is already on its way while we are still waiting. So if you are struggling today, If your prayers seem unanswered, if life feels unfair, don't give up. Keep believing, keep praying, keep moving forward, because God is still working, even when you cannot see it, even when you cannot hear it. And at the perfect moment, everything will make sense. Remember this: God may be silent, but He is never absent, and your miracle may be closer than you think. Thank you for listening. May God bless you and guide your path. Never lose faith.